Assalamualaikum, my name is As-Shahran bin Amran and my presentation is titled Intricacies of Iznik Ceramics Composition within Islamic Aesthetics. The aim of this project was to explore how the visual composition of Iznik ceramic isn't just about decoration but about meaning, how it reflects the values and ideas in Islamic art, especially ideas like unity, balance, and spirituality. Iznik ceramics were made in the Ottoman Empire during the 16th century and they were used a lot in mosques and palaces. So they're not just beautiful, they are also deeply tied to Islamic cultural identity and sacred space. In this study, I focused on how their motifs, colors, and structure all work together to express a spiritual and formal harmony, and I turned that into a visual poster to show this connection clearly. Through my research, I found that Iznik ceramics follow very strict and yet beautiful composition systems. The most common structure is radial symmetry, where everything radiates outward from a central point, almost like a mandala. And this reflects the idea of divine unity or Tawhid in Islam, where all things come from one source. Motif-wise, they mostly use floral forms like tulips, lotuses, and carnations, and sometimes cloud bands. These are stylized and not realistic, and arranged in repeating patterns. This links to the Islamic idea of aniconism, which is avoiding human or animal forms, so that the focus stays on the form and flow rather than worldly representation. And I also noticed how colors play a big role. The most dominant ones were cobalt blue and turquoise. Later on, a bold red was added, which became iconic. And all of these were painted under the glaze on a special freeware, which made the surface smooth and durable. So it's not just pretty patterns. Every choice like motif, layout, symmetry, color is deliberate and symbolic. So now I'll walk you through the infographic poster I've created for this project. At the center of the poster is the title, bold and placed right in the middle. I did this intentionally to reflect how Islamic composition often revolve around the core, just like how Iznik plates use a central medallion. It also gives the poster a clear focal point that everything else flows around it. Surrounding the title are the 5 main content points, starting from the top left corner and moving diagonally down to the bottom right. This layout guides the eye in a smooth reading direction, almost like tracing a path through a pattern. Each section is clearly labeled and kept short and concise, so it is easy to scan and digest. I wanted the viewer to feel like they're circling around a calm center, kind of echoing the way Islamic designs loop and repeat around the core. At the bottom of the poster, I have placed 3 ceramic images. These act as visual anchors and are meant to stand out. I chose to highlight them specifically because they give a real-world references to the forms I've been breaking down above. They help ground the theory in sometimes tactile and beautiful. So in terms of layout, the idea was to merge visual clarity with conceptual flow, where the structure of the poster mimics the structure of the artwork itself. In terms of visual design, I've made a few deliberate choices that connect both formally and symbolically to Iznik ceramics. First, the color palette. I chose maroon red as the dominant color instead of the usual Iznik blue. This was to create contrast and draw attention to the layout and the ceramic pieces at the bottom. The red gives a sense of warmth and richness, which still ties into Ottoman aesthetics, but also stands out as different, almost like a reframe of tradition through a modern lens. And for the typography, I use tan meringue. It has a decorative Islamic feel, especially in the curves and shapes of the letters. The title is bold, giving it weight and central importance, while the point text are in the default style, keeping them lighter and easier to read. This contrast helps with visual hierarchy, so your eye naturally knows where to look at first. Lastly, the overall composition reflects the spirit of Islamic design, which is centered, balanced, and flowing. The way the information warps around the title creates a symmetrical rhythm, while the ceramic visuals at the bottom provide grounding and context. So overall, every design element like font, color, structure is meant to reflect the content itself, a sense of harmony and purpose. In conclusion, what I've learned from this project is that Iznik ceramics are more than just historical decorations. They're a visual language that reflects Islamic views on beauty, balance, and spiritual presence. One challenge was translating all that layered symbolism into something simple and readable, but it also taught me how much meaning can be hidden in form and color. And through the composition itself, I realized something beautiful. In Islamic art, structure isn't limiting, it's freeing. It gives space for beauty to repeat, reflect, and flow, just like how faith flows through everything in Islamic design. And that is all from my presentation. Thank you.